Well, welcome. We're glad you could join us again for another excerpt into our Common Sense Theology series. We appreciate you viewing with us, and we hope this has been helpful to you, and it's been a wonderful thing for us to do, and we're going to continue on with it. Today we're going to take a look at the sixth commandment, and the sixth commandment is this: thou shalt not commit adultery. Now, first I think we need to look at love and what love is and what marriage actually consists of. Love is really not a feeling. It's in there, but it really is a promise, especially in marriage. Marriage is not about feelings. It's not about falling in love and all these things that people tend to want to discuss about marriage. Marriage is about a promise. When you stand in front of a pastor and God and a congregation, when you get married, you are making promises. You are promising in front of that congregation. You are promising to that pastor, and more importantly, you are promising God that you will keep yourself to this person, that you two will become one flesh, and that God will bless that and use that. So it is a promise that you are making between a husband and a wife. Now, what happens when adultery comes about is that you break that oneness, you break that promise, and you have lied to God, you have lied to the pastor, you have lied to everybody who you invited to this wonderful thing. And when that happens, you have broken a trust and you have caused great hurt. And two families have been destroyed in the process. That's why thou shalt not commit adultery is ending it in the adultery bed after the damage has already been done. People have been hurt, and it's not just the two individuals. It is their other family. It is their children. It is their uncles, aunts, mothers, fathers, everybody. And it's also the whole community, especially a church, especially a smaller community, is totally hurt by divorce. But Jesus says this. He says, you've heard it said of old that you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that if you look at a woman with lust in your heart, then you have committed adultery already with her. Now again, this goes back to what we talked about with murder. And it's Dr. Nestigan and Dr. Furdy have brought this forth to us. It's basically Jesus saying, put a fence around it. Stop it where it starts, because if you stop it in the bed, the adultery bed, the damage has been done. You can't undo it. It cannot go back to the way it was before. So Jesus says, let's put a fence around it. Let's stop it right here. Because like murders, adultery start in the mind. Lust starts in the mind. These things start in the head, and Jesus wants us to stop it right then and right there, because if you stop it right there, no damage has been done. And I pray today that if you are in a relationship that you are being tempted with, if you are having these problems, you can go to God, you can count on Him, you can take every burden to Him. And I pray today that you would put a fence around these things. Lust happens. These are things that we are not going to be able to stop, but we can end it right where it begins, in our head. Put a fence around it, as Jesus says. And I pray today that God might bless you and keep you, that He might make your marriages strong, that He might help you and your children in each and everything. For once adultery is committed, the children, the other spouses, other families, other community members suffer through this. It is a terrible thing. I equate it to nearly like a death. And I pray today that you will be serious about your promises. Remember, marriage is a promise. Love is a promise. It is something that you promise to do. And we have been all too lenient with that in our lives. We have not taken the covenant of marriage very seriously. And many adulterous actions have happened because people have not been serious about their marriage vows. Again, you don't just fall in love. The last time I fell into something, it was a door and I about broke my nose. You must keep your promises. It's not about a feeling. It is about a promise that you make to God and to one another. And I pray today that God will bless you, He'll keep you, and that He will be with you today and always. Thank you. And again, if you have questions, please let us know. If you would like to be a part of a church that is not symbolism over substance, but is full of substance, we ask you to come be with us. We'd love to have you worship with us and be a part of our church family here at Oregon. And many blessings, and the grace and peace of Jesus Christ be with you now and always. Amen.